Hi y'all. What's up? Okay. Hope my hair looks okay. I know I look a little crazy, y'all. Trust me, I know I need a retwist, y'all. Oh god. You know what? That's honestly as good as my hair is gonna look for this video at this point. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day, a great week, all of that. So today's video, I'm gonna give you guys just a little story time and I'm gonna talk about how and why I became a licensed nail tech. As I mentioned in my intro video, I've been a licensed nail tech for the past 3 years, been doing nails for 4. It has been a very, very long, extensive journey with cosmetology, with doing nails. And yeah, there's been so much growth and learning and so much experience. And today I just wanted to share my story as to why I became a nail tech, how I did it, and my journey this far. I was a college sophomore when I decided to leave school and become a nail tech. So let me just insert here that I actually had no intention of going back and finishing my degree. When I dropped out to go to cosmetology school, that was that. Like I was like, I'm done, like I'm not gonna go back to school. God had other plans for me later on in life and I did eventually finish my degree, but let's just set the scene. I'm a college sophomore going into my sophomore year actually, so this was about August, and I realized that I wasn't gonna be able to finish. I was an accounting major, and for those of you who are accounting majors, I don't know why. For those of you who are former accounting majors, you know that it is not a joke. The type of classes that they have, managerial, financial, eventually supposed to prepare you to get your MAC, so your Master's of Accounting, or just go straight and get your CPA. When I was coming to college, that's all I knew. Go and become an accounting student, graduate, get my MAC, get my CPA. Like I had this whole game plan. In August of 2019, I realized like it wasn't gonna happen. I had been already completely burned out the semester prior, so the second semester of my freshman year, trying to fix my grades, my GPA, like my work ethic, study systems, all of that. I had done so much trying to get to that point, trying to keep an internship that I had that summer between June and July. So by August, I was done. I was like, I don't know if I can do the school thing. So then I panicked. I had to ask myself like, okay, so if we're not gonna do the school thing, what are we about to do? I'd already been interested in nails a little bit, like for money purposes. My first year of college, my parents helped me a lot as far as with rent, tuition payments, pocket money, that kind of thing. By my sophomore year, it was pretty much on us. So I had to work multiple so that I could afford rent. I got a car, had to pay for that. Like, girl, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was working an administration job. I was a receptionist, admin. I was working food service. I was a waitress. At the time, I was still braiding hair. I was doing all these things, trying to make money, trying to make something shake, and I just felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was never like catching up. I was always like falling behind. So I revisited my idea or my desire to do nails. I already spoken to my parents about this briefly, and basically there's sentiments where it's a good idea to have like multiple streams of income. It's a good idea to do something creative, but finish school first. What they didn't know is your girl had already unenrolled myself from all my classes that semester. So I already knew I was not about to go to school that semester at least. Because of my internship the summer before, I was able to save up $3,000. That's what I had in my savings. That's what I was sitting on. I'm doing all this research and I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm trying to figure out, oh, could I do this nail thing? Is this possible? Could I go to nail school? I was trying to search if I could do it online, or I guess like the major components online, because to be honest, at that time, I also had very, very poor study habits. I figured if I go online, I could just, do it at my own pace and whatever, which that wouldn't have worked out anyway. But the state in which I lived, we were not allowed to do online nail school. I was looking at like the major nail schools like Paul Mitchell, Aveda, just other major nail school franchises. Also started looking at local nail schools or cosmetology schools because the price point was outrageous. Aveda or Paul Mitchell, I can't remember which one, but it was like 15 bands. I found this cosmetology school local to me. It was only about 20 minutes from my apartment. When I went and visited the school, they said that tuition was actually $3,000 exactly. I paid for that tuition on the spot. It was literally like standing on the edge of a building and it's like the building is on fire. If you jump, you might land like, you know, in a little river next to the building. You might hurt something, you know, but you might survive it. But if you stay in this building, you know you're not gonna survive. I just spent that $3,000 and it was the best $3,000 I've ever spent. And then I got to work. How my school was structured was you could do full-time and be done with the cosmetology program in 2.5 months, or you could do like I did, part-time, and be done with it in 8 months. The reason why I took the 8-month route is because we only had to go to school Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and it was from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I was able to still work my other jobs. I was making it work. I basically, in that moment, made a promise to God and said, God, if you just see me through this, I promise you, I will do everything. Go up to school, I'll be the best student. I'm gonna do all my homework, like I'll do everything, but God just like save me from what I'm going through basically. Going into nail school, we had little like long sleeve black t-shirts with like the school logo for our uniform. Other than that, we wore scrub bottoms. I went ahead and bought a train case. I'll put like a little picture here somewhere. My nail school did provide a duffel bag filled with the OG like nail school essentials, soap bowl, the mannequin hand, some sort of powder, some sort of monomer, you know, just like the basic essentials. That was basically it. I started going to school. I was in school from September of 2019 until February of 2020. The beautiful thing about my nail school and what made it such an experience was the women that I met in the school. They were all going through their own things. They all were coming from different walks in life. One woman who was a teacher just looking to do something else on the side. Someone who was in administration. There was a girl, really lovely girl, who used to work at a Honda plant building cars, and she had been left permanently injured, and she was looking for basically a way to transition out of that lifestyle. People got kids, you know, family issues. It was very, very hard. The school was in the parking lot of like a plaza. I was young, like I had a lot, I mean, I'm still young, but I was a lot younger and I still had a lot to figure out about balance and work ethic and whatnot, but I was hustling. All I knew at the time was you get up, you go to work. When work is off, you go to nail school. And I did that like clockwork. I did not tell my parents, I did not tell majority of people until I had already graduated nail school. The main reason I didn't tell my parents that I was going to nail school is because I knew that they would try to advise me against it and to specifically finish my degree first. In my heart of hearts, I knew I was not going to be able to finish my degree at that time. This is a point I really want to highlight for you people in college who are struggling to finish your degree and you think, oh my gosh, like I really can't do this. There's no shame in taking a break. If you feel like you are at your like basically wit's end and you keep forcing it, you're just gonna blow it. I would do it all over again the same exact way because of, not just because of the outcome, but because of the experience that I had while in nail school. Even if you are facing backlash with your decision to go, maybe you're also in college, maybe you finished your degree already, don't worry about them. Don't worry about what they have to say. Don't worry about what external influencers or voices are saying. If you know in your heart you want to get it, go get it. Back into school, so I did that. Like I said, had so many good experiences with the girlies, and now February came around and it was time to graduate. At the end of my nail school, I took my nail exam. That's basically like the finisher of the entire course. I can go into a more in-depth video on like the ins and outs of nail school, things that will be important for the exam, how to take the exam. I can do a different video or videos on that stuff, but I'm just giving you a general overview for this video. We're learning things about chemistry, anatomy, learning like different parts of the body. I was in nail school at this point 4 years ago. A lot of what I knew, I no longer know. I know more practical functional skills for nails as opposed to like theory and textbook. It was the hands-on portion, teaching us how to lay acrylic, teaching us how to put on tips. My nail school didn't teach, it did teach dip, so we did teach SNS. What you'll learn going to cosmetology school is a lot of the learning you'll do will be after you graduate. Most of nail school is just fundamentals and cleaning. A lot of things that can go wrong if you don't keep a clean and sanitized and disinfected workspace. If you are reusing certain tools, reusing implements without washing, all those type of bad practices, that's what nail school teaches you against. All the fun stuff like how to do nail art and designs and etc. You learn that as you go beyond nail school. Some people learn in nail school, it just depends. Mine didn't teach me, but the basics is that you learn the basics. Took my school exam, I passed on my first try. That was super easy. After I passed my school exam, I took the certificate and I took my whole family to dinner, and that's when I told them that, surprise, I've been in nail school the last 8 months. I didn't want to tell you guys because I didn't want you guys to, you know, worry about me. They were just so happy and I cried. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can finally do this. Like, but for my licensing exam, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. My school allowed you to come back and do practice sessions with the instructors. By the time I went to take the state licensing exam, it of course is in 2 parts, the written and the practicum. You practice on dummy hand and you do 1 nail service on each fingernail. Theorem, you do that on the computer. Can't even remember how many questions, but there's a lot of questions and you just click the answer and it's fine. Passed my state board exam, both parts, first try. Put some respect on my name.
I'm super excited. It was really tough. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a different ball game, but I had a blast, so thank you.
It was definitely top 10 feelings. So once I got my license in February of 2020, as we all know, the world basically shut down by March. Actually, one of the last people to get their license in my whole state at that time, because after that they basically shut it down. God is so good, because I almost, because of like trying to balance work and everything like that, didn't graduate on time. When they told me that they charged, my nail school charged every day over that you didn't graduate from your finish date, I was like, oh no girl, I'm gonna graduate on time. I don't know what I have to do, but we're gonna do this. That's what allowed me to get my license on time before the world went belly up. The next semester basically of school, I actually ended up going back and enrolling in courses at my university because the world was shut down, and did the online school thing. By July, when the world had neutralized enough for us to resume doing nails in my state with, of course, COVID protocols. Initially, I tried to work at this salon that was in a nicer area, like near my campus. And the first day I went in there and he asked me to paint a nail, it was a hot mess. Like everything I'd practiced for however many months gone out the window. It was like I was a 3-year-old. I couldn't color inside the lines. It was so bad. And he asked me to lay an acrylic bead and I just couldn't do it. And it was so frustrating because I'd spent all that money and I'd done all that work just to get to the end of the road and still be struggling. That man, he showed me certain techniques, how to hold the hand, how to hold my brush, like different things that they don't teach you in nail school that you learn on the go or learn experiencing with clients, did amazingly for me. I'm so grateful for being under his training for 2 weeks. I basically just came into his shop every day and I painted the nails and I practiced putting on nail tips and laying an acrylic bead. I was done with the 2 weeks. He sent me out, and that's when I started working freelance initially out of this eyebrow threading shop, but then eventually switched into a chain nail salon in my state, and I worked there for 8 months. While I worked there, I was not the best nail tech, and I think that's the misconception that coming out of nail school you should know everything now and you should be ready to go, and that's just not the case. Coming out of nail school, you're still gonna have to put in a lot of work. So for that 8 months, that basically was my growth period. I was learning so much about myself, about the type of nails that I preferred to do, different techniques to cut down prep time, standardize my processes and my systems. After that 8 months, I left and went and worked at another salon. Did do acrylics, but most people got gel or SNS. I've gotten really good at SNS and then worked there for a year. And even for a little while, I opened a loft space downtown in my city and was doing nails and some hair on the side out of that. Final year of school, this was the final salon I worked at before moving to the state of Georgia. Worked at a nail salon that I love so much, and we didn't do any acrylics. We only did hard gels, Gel-X, polygel. Got really good at doing a nice manicure because that was what the clients in my area basically were like looking for. My skills are good, my timing is good, everything is good. Now let's get creative. Taught myself a lot of different art designs. I dabbled with 3D art, I dabbled with specific line art, I dabbled with using different brushes, stamping tools. This is where I really built up my toolkit for the artistic side of doing nails. By the time I worked at this salon and the one prior to this, I was not working any other jobs, completely self-employed. After I finished college, I moved out of state. I've dabbled in nails here and there. Out here, I do have my license. I did go ahead and transferred my license to Georgia so that I'm actually licensed in 2 states. I do have aspirations at some point, maybe to open up a little nail studio or open like a nail bar or something cute, but ultimately those are more long-term. That is my journey with nails. I've had so much fun. It has been, I don't even know how to describe what nails has done for me. And I went to cosmetology school. All I had was the money and the desire to succeed, and God, Jesus. I didn't tell my parents, but I did tell my older sister, so my older sister at least knew where I was coming and going because we lived together in the apartment. I was taking on a lot. I definitely had moments where I felt, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I went to nail school over winter. In the state that I was living, we get pretty brutal winters. Having to plow your car out of the snow to drive to a different city and stay there all day till 9 and come back home, you just spent gas, money. I was just really wound up, but it is just truly the awesomeness of God guiding me through the entire process. Now sitting so far removed from that experience, seeing where nails has taken me and the opportunities that nails has afforded me this far in life and my life going forward is just a blessing. There's nothing else like it. The confidence that it gives me for the rest of my life, I know that no matter what, all else fails, I can do some nails. That is pretty much my entire nail journey this far. Definitely summarized a lot of it, but I can go more in depth on specific topics in future videos. I want to impart on you that you don't need to know the how. You don't need to know the how, you know the why. The why is because God has placed it on your heart. Just do the little by little baby steps. If you want to know more about nail school, if you have questions that you want me to answer with a follow-up video, please leave them in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe so you can see me release videos, and hit that bell notification. I post every Tuesday. I'm gonna try to post twice a week, but we're getting there. Bear with me. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and enjoy your week. Bye.